Man, I can't wait to see what my birthday activity is this year. You're the best robot pal a kid could ever... No. I think I might just answer this letter. Dear Tim and Moby, if forces are invisible, how do we know they exist? And how do they work? Thanks, Caitlin C. Forces are at work all the time, acting on everything around us. We can't see them, but some of their effects are pretty obvious. Like any time an object changes speed or direction. At its most basic, a force is a push or a pull, and it always involves two or more objects. Something providing the push or pull, like Moby, and the thing it affects, like, me. Well, it's never really that simple. Objects usually have lots of forces acting on them at the same time. Each one has a magnitude, the size of the force, and a direction. Put in fancy science terms, we say force is a vector quantity. Like right now, we are pushing in opposite directions. But our forces are in balance, canceling each other out. That's why I'm not moving. The sum of the forces, or net force, is 0. 0 newtons, to be precise. That's the unit we use to measure force. It's named after Isaac Newton, the physicist who figured a lot of this stuff out. To get me in motion, you need to exert an unbalanced force on me. Ah! That's any push or pull where the net force is not 0. I am not getting in that thing. What? You're just trying to distract me, but fine. Right now, there are 3 main forces accounting for our movement. The engines are pulling the plane forward. There's friction, the resistance the surface puts on anything sliding over it. And drag, which is basically the friction of air molecules. Yeah, you would think the force of the engines must be greater than friction and drag. After all, we're moving forward. But notice how still it feels in here? If the forces were out of balance, we'd feel the push. And we'd be able to observe its effects. Well, we'd see a change in the plane's speed or direction. The combination of these two values is called velocity. We're not speeding up or slowing down. And we're heading in a straight line. So the net force on the plane is 0, same as if we weren't moving at all. We're going to need to accelerate if this hunk of junk is going to get off the ground. In physics, acceleration isn't just speeding up. It's any change in velocity, including speed-ups, slowdowns, and turns. There's a reason you can feel it when a car or a plane accelerates. It means there's an unbalanced force being applied to it and to you! Yep, the plane has to generate enough upward force to overcome gravity. It's a little different than the forces we've talked about so far. Friction, drag, you pushing me, those are all contact forces. They're between objects that are touching. Gravity is a non-contact force. It can affect objects that are separated, like the Earth and this plane. Magnetism and the electrical force are non-contact too. Like all non-contact forces, gravity acts through a field, an invisible area of influence. Fields get weaker the farther out you go from their source. But even way up here, Earth's gravitational field is still plenty strong, which is why I am absolutely not going... Oh, hi. Yup, the gravitational force is pulling us down, hard. It's opposed by drag, which is resisting our downward motion. The two forces are way unbalanced, that's why we're still accelerating. But the faster we go, the more drag increases. Eventually, those two forces will fall into balance. There we go. Our velocity is steady, which means we've stopped accelerating. So the net force on us is now 0. That's why it doesn't feel like we're falling anymore. More like floating. When we pull our cords, our parachutes will increase drag, so there will be a sudden, unbalanced force upward. Oof! But as we slow down, drag decreases. Eventually, drag and gravity balance again, and our velocity levels off. Hey, you know what? This was the best birthday present ever. Oh, you.